Hello, it's me, Steve Jobs, and I'm here to show you the brand new iPhone. In 2007, we changed the entire world with the invention of the iPhone, and each year we try and innovate on that idea. And with the drop of the new iPhone this month, we're proud to introduce the newest, biggest iPhone feature, the Apple Wave. Apple Wave is the next best way to charge your phone. All you have to do is stick it in the microwave for a minute straight and your phone will be charged as new. It's a truly revolutionary idea that no other company has ever tried before. I'm telling you, the Wave will be the next big feature for all you iPhone users.
A fake Apple ad posted online has people microwaving their brand new iPhone 6s.
True. LAPD is warning residents not to put their iPhones in the microwave. It seems there's a hoax going around on the internet right now.
Bringing back the old charge your phone in the microwave feature, which is nowhere close to being true.
This is truly the way of the future. So Apple's new WWDC Keynote event just went down, and they talked about a lot of interesting things. Of course, they talked about iOS 14, but they also talked about the Mac, they also talked about Apple TV, they talked about iPadOS, and ironically, they talked a lot about privacy.
At Apple, we believe privacy is a fundamental human right.
But there's one thing they failed to mention in the keynote, which honestly shocked me, and that is the new iPhone. But I'm not talking about the iPhone 12. No. I'm talking about the iPhone Lite. Let me explain. I can tell that a lot of you are probably thinking to yourself, well, Thernos, didn't they just release the iPhone SE? And to that, I would say, well, yes, except the iPhone SE is bullshit. Instead of making a smaller, more portable version of the iPhone 11, they literally just remade the iPhone 5, down to the price and features. For some people, I'm sure that's cool, but in my opinion, I think that that's pretty useless, honestly. I'd rather have a more portable, lighter, and just really good iPhone with all the features of a normal iPhone 11 or 10. And that's what we're going to be talking about in this video, so strap in. So what is the gimmick of this new iPhone? What is the selling point, if you will? Imagine an iPhone Lite as being almost like Apple's version of a Switch Lite, you know?
Any conniptions?
The Switch Lite is the same exact thing as the Switch, except with a few features stripped, and it's also just more portable. That's basically what we're gonna be doing with an iPhone Lite, but there's a few changes that I also want to make. Of course, the biggest thing about this phone is going to be the design, and in my eyes, I think that it should be thinner. Don't get me wrong, the iPhone that we have now is pretty thin, but I think we could go better, like the iPad. And yes, the iPad is actually thinner than an iPhone. We also want to make the iPhone a little less weighty, considering how whenever they make the screen bigger, the iPhones tend to get heavier. Don't get me wrong, it's not like the iPhones we have now are like 10-pound dumbbells, but it would be a nice little convenience. And of course, the iPhone is smaller. I'm saying about the size of an iPhone SE because that was a pretty good size. I know a lot of people love the bigger screens of the iPhones, but then again, a lot of people also don't like that. iPhone screens are so big now to the point that if you wear them in your pocket, it'll literally stick out, and that shouldn't be happening. Of course, all the features of an iPhone 11 will be in this phone, whether it be the water resistance up to 2 millimeters or something like that. Now, this may confuse a lot of you, but I don't think we should actually add the home button back. Don't get me wrong, if we were making this in 2017 when the iPhone X was just released, then yeah, I'd probably say bring the home button back. But now that I think about it, we are so used to not having home buttons anymore to the point where if we had it back, I almost feel like it would be useless, you know? Oh, but Thernos, there's Touch ID. And to that, I say, really? I mean, even when Touch ID was a new feature, did anybody really use it that often? Because I didn't. In terms of looks, there's one more thing that we have to get straight with the iPhone. The abysmal cameras. I'm not talking about the camera quality, mind you, because Apple has perfected that. What I'm talking about is this goddamn thing that be looking like SpongeBob. Nobody likes the square design. Nobody likes the square design. It is such a nuisance. It's so big and ugly looking. And just by doing one simple fix, I think we can solve this entire issue. They should form it like this. Wouldn't you rather have this than have this? This looks so much nicer. If there's one thing that Samsung knows how to do, it's how to align their cameras. Their camera quality may suck, but at least the format of it looks better than SpongeBob. Now, a new iPhone always means new features, and while this iPhone won't have any new features per se, it will have a lot of the returning ones. Of course, Face ID will be in the iPhone Lite. In fact, it's kind of embarrassing that it wasn't in SE, considering that it's something that's been in iPhones for a while now. Maybe Face ID isn't as advanced as it was in the 11, maybe it's about as advanced as it was in X, but it's still gonna be here. Of course, the iPhone is going to be very sturdy, being dust resistant, water resistant, and of course is going to be made out of a very strong glass. But of course it's going to have all of that.
How about this instead?
My asshole burns.
Podcast Brownlee, Podcast Brownlee, Podcast Brownlee, Podcast Brownlee, Podcast Brownlee, Podcast Brownlee.
Is this what you want?
Now, seeing how this is supposed to be a more portable and more affordable iPhone, I'd say the battery life should be around 9 hours or so. Yeah, it's not as much as an iPhone 11 or even an iPhone 10 for that matter, but it is a reasonable amount, and I think it's a worthy sacrifice if you want to get a cheaper iPhone. Now, if you want to get much more technical, we can talk about the bionics and the chips of the phones and stuff like that, but honestly, I don't really care about that type of stuff because I don't really know any of that stuff. Let's just say that the iPhone Lite will have an A13 chip. Obviously, all the features in iOS 14 are coming to the iPhone Lite, but what about the features in iPad OS?
Wow, that's awesome.
Can you imagine having a stylus with your phone? I always thought it was really cool that Samsung had phones that had built-in styluses. Now, since this is supposed to be a more portable, less weighty, a more affordable iPhone, I don't really think we should add a stylus, as I feel like that might make things a little bit cluttered. And remember, this is supposed to be a more affordable iPhone, so we can't just make it a regular iPhone with cheaper price. Now, there is one thing though, one very tiny thing that we really need to add to the iPhone Lite. It's very small. Add the goddamn headphone jack back.
Oh my god, why do I have to drill to get my headphone jack? What is it, a collector's edition? Apple, this is so cringe.
Apple's been trying to push their new AirPods so much recently to the point where they've completely forgotten about the headphone jack, and we need it back. So many people use wired headphones and earbuds, so taking away the headphone jack is just a serious nuisance. Some people can't afford the AirPods, or they just don't want them. So yeah, bring the headphone jack back.
Nice.
I don't want to have to set up this crappy little setup with dongles and crap. I want my goddamn headphone jack. So yeah, that's my idea for an iPhone Lite. Now, in terms of price, this can go either way. If I were to price the iPhone Lite, I'd price it at a pretty reasonable price point. Maybe $600 or $700. So apparently you can get iPhone X's and iPhone XS for about $600 to $700, which is the price that we're putting this iPhone Lite at. So how about this? This is a better price. This is the new price. Forget everything you thought you knew. Well, anyways, thanks for watching. This was just my personal little theory about an iPhone Lite. It's never gonna happen, but if it ever does, that'd be super sick. So yeah, thanks for watching, and remember...